Okay guys, this next motivation recording is actually, I'm taking it right now on my way to a lead here together with Joey. What I want to talk to you guys today about is how to become a professional salesman and a really good salesman. What you guys need to understand is to be a professional salesman doesn't mean that when you're in the lead you're a professional salesman. It actually starts a lot before that. It starts, what time do you wake up in the morning? How you wake up in the morning, what you're listening to when you wake up in the morning, what do you do when you wake up in the morning, and then what do you do during the day, what do you do after work, what time do you go to sleep. All that stuff plays into a big count into, becoming a professional salesman. So if you're a professional salesman and you wake up at 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, I can tell you one thing: you're not going to make your $50,000, $60,000 a month. Now, to become a professional salesman, number one is you got to put your alarm clock, set your alarm clock to around 7 o'clock in the morning. I mean, you don't need to be one of those guys that waking 5 o'clock in the morning. If you really want to do that, you can do that. But wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Now, it doesn't mean you need to step out of your house at 7 o'clock in the morning, but wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Now, what do I do when I wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning is, number one, is I look at my vision board. So I have a nice vision board right next to my bed. I look at it, I have all my photos, all my goals, and then I read my goal list. So I have 10 goals that I write on a piece of paper, and I have that next to my bed, and every morning when I wake up, I look at my vision board, and then I read my goals to myself. Okay, so I motivate myself by looking at the pictures and by reading my list of goals. I mean, some of the goals that I have, let me tell you, are crazy, but guess what? When I came to the United States and I wrote my 10 goals, 2 years later when I read them, I was laughing. Like, I so overpassed them. That was crazy. So guys, very important, have a vision board next to your bed, have your goals, your goal list next to your bed, and read them. Now, after I do that, I go on YouTube, I look for a good motivation video, a good motivation recording, and I play it. I play it very loud, and it motivates me while I'm brushing my teeth, while I'm taking the shower. I'm listening to some good motivation. After I do that, okay, I go downstairs, I get my car, I go into my car. Now, if I have a lead at 9 o'clock in the morning, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive to my lead. But sometimes I don't have an appointment, I don't have a lead in the morning. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to either go visit a job site. Okay, so go visit a job site, go visit one of your customers, existing customers, and try and sell them a referral, or just visit them, say hi. You never know what can happen. Let me tell you, a lot of times I went to my customers and I didn't even know it was an option of selling their kitchen or a bathroom or anything else. I just did the flooring, maybe 200 square foot flooring, a small job, $3,500, and I ended up selling them another $100,000 because I went over there. So guys, very important, go to your job sites. If you don't have a lead, don't just stay home, don't call up the office, don't come to the office, go to your job site. Now, if you don't have a job site, okay, go to your friend's job site. Okay, go see other jobs, go pick up samples, go to Home Depot, pick up samples, go to ABC Roofing, pick up samples, do something productive. I mean, you can do so much. You can go to slab yards, pick up some countertop samples, you can go to kitchen showrooms, pick up some kitchen doors. Guys, you can do so much stuff during the day. If you don't have leads, you don't need to come to the office and sit down there and do nothing. Okay, that's very important. Now, when you go into the lead, what I like you guys to do before you walk into the lead, take 2 minutes of your time and meditate. Meditate in your car. Imagine how you are going to sell this lead. Imagine how the customer is going to say yes. All this meditation is going to help you a lot in selling the lead. I can tell you this much. Huge percentage of the leads that I went to that I didn't meditate, I sold them. You meditate how you're going to come in and out of this house for the next few months. You meditate how the customer, when you give him the price, says yes. I'll tell you one thing, it works. It's crazy. I mean, you're basically using all the energies of the universe and you're putting them into play, and it actually works, and you'll be surprised how good it works. Now, when you walk into the house, I want you guys to walk in with a big smile. Okay, big smile. A good, firm handshake would do it. And you can tell the customer, isn't it a beautiful day outside? You want to have the customer saying yes. You know, the first question you're going to ask the customer is going to be something with the answer yes. So what I like to do is, isn't it a beautiful day outside? Even if it's raining outside, I'm like, isn't it a beautiful day outside? And no matter what happens, is the customer is going to say yes, okay? Even if it's raining outside. If it's raining outside, you say, oh, finally it's raining, huh? Isn't that beautiful? Always with a positive answer of a yes, you know, the first time you meet the customer. When you walk into the customer's house, okay, you do not want to be one of the salesmen that sit in there for 30, 40 minutes and then leave, okay? Even if the lead is a bad lead, okay, and you walk in there and the customer's like, hey, I told you guys I don't want you guys to come over here, or it was a one-legger, you know, only the wife is there, only the husband is there, the husband is at work. Oh, he told you, well, listen, I called the office and I told them that I want to cancel the lead. Walk in the lead, sit down. I mean, you already drove an hour and a half to the lead. I mean, he's not just gonna walk out of the lead and call up the office and say it was a shitty lead. I mean, because guess what? That's not gonna put money in your pocket. Sit down with the customer, talk to him, connect with him. Even if the customer tells you, no, I don't want to do anything, say, okay, it's fine, you know, I already drove over here, let's just talk, you know. I mean, you don't need to do the job with me. And guess what? 40, 50 minutes later, everything is going to change. Suddenly he's going to want to do his windows. Suddenly he's going to want to do his roofing. Suddenly he's going to be like, you know, actually, yeah, I mean, I thought maybe to cancel you guys, but guess what? You know, actually, you're cool. Maybe we can do something. So guys, never give up. That's the name of the game. Never give up. You're walking into the house, never give up. You never know when the customer is going to say, I want to do it with you. But, I mean, you always got to give it a try. Now, what I want you guys to do, this is a good practice if you're a salesman that is doing it for a month or two, I want you guys to record yourself. Okay? Record yourself in the lead. And if you hear that you're talking 70% of the time, that means you're doing a very bad job. You got to let the customer at least talk 75% of the time. You want to have the customer talking, and in between that, you're going to put in your stories, you're going to do your connection with the customer. You want to let the customer 75% of the lead talk. Now, another thing is, I want you guys to check how long are you staying with the customer in the house. Now, if you're staying with the customer for 2 hours, give it another extra half an hour. If you're averaging in the customer's house 5 hours, stay another half an hour, stay at 5.5 hours. I'm telling you right now that 30 minutes extra that you're going to spend with the customer is going to change the amount of sales you have drastically. Because one thing you need to understand is the more time you're going to spend with the customer equals a higher chance of selling the customer. So if you're going to sit down with a customer for 40 minutes, I'm telling you right now, the chances of you selling is very, very low. If you're sitting down with the customer right now for 3.5 hours, the chances of you selling the customer is super high. Now, when you're done and the customer signed with you the contract, okay, and he's ready to go with you, don't be one of those salesmen that say, oh, okay, great, shake their hand and leave the house, because guess what? The customer will call you and will cancel. A couple hours later or the very next day, he will call and cancel. What you need to do is you need to sit down with the customer for at least a minimum of another 30 minutes and ease him off the sale. So basically, after you give him the price and he says yes and you sign up the contract, you want to kind of ease before you leave the house, kind of bring him down from that, you know, excitement of buying. Because if he's gonna have that excitement of buying and you're gonna leave, what's gonna happen is he's gonna be in shock and he's gonna be like, holy shit, what the fuck did I just do? And he's gonna want to cancel it. So guys, very important, sit for another 30-40 minutes after and then leave the house. Now, when you do leave the house, okay, call up the office and make sure they have a subcontractor to start the job right away. You want to start the job right away. Even though you put the 3 days right to cancel, everything is great. You always have ways of starting the job right away, or at least spiking the job. What do I mean? Doesn't mean you need to break the bathroom the very next day. You can at least bring some materials on the job site to show that to the customer that we actually started the job. That's going to lower the percentage of cancellation by a lot. So that's very, very important to understand. You want to start the job as soon as possible, and that's going to lower the chances of cancellation, okay? And also spending some time with the customer after you sell them. Now, after a day of work, okay, I don't want you guys to go home and start watching TV and playing PlayStations and going out to the nightclub. What you guys got to do, especially beginner salesmen, when you come back home, you got to do your homework. Homework is super important to succeed. You guys need to understand, you guys are making here more money than doctors, more money than lawyers. More money than doctors and lawyers. That's crazy. I mean, you guys are making over $50,000 a month potentially. And to do that, you guys got to come back home and learn. The same thing, it takes a doctor 10 years to succeed. And being a doctor and being a professional doctor, sometimes even more than 10 years to specialize in a trade. You need to understand, to be a professional salesman, to be a professional contractor, you got to study. You got to study the product. You got to study sales techniques. I know while you guys are driving to the leads, you guys are going to be listening to some motivation recordings, some soup, closing, all that stuff. But when you come back home, I want you not only to listen to those recordings, I want you also to write it down, because writing down is very important in remembering stuff. Now, learning one thing one time is not going to do the trick. You got to read it, listen to it, write it at least 10, 15 times in order for it not to come into your brain, to stay in your subconscious mind. So whenever you sit down with the customer, it's just going to flow out of you. So whenever you come back home, give it at least an hour or two of practicing. It's like I tell a lot of people, I mean, when you go to the gym, if you want to have a great body, okay, and you go for 1 month straight and you're going to give 2-3 hours a day, what's going to happen? Your body is going to be in good shape, okay? But what's going to happen after a month if you're going to start going to the gym once a week, or you're going to go to the gym 5 minutes a week, 5 minutes a day? Let me tell you, it's not going to do nothing to your body. The same thing, studying to be a contractor, studying to be a great salesman. You guys got to practice every freaking day. And not practice for 5-10 minutes, practice 2-3 hours at a time. And that's what's going to make you very successful and going to make the difference between making a $10,000 a month and making $50,000 to $100,000 a month. In the months that I made over $100,000 a month as a salesman, those were the months that I listened to a lot of motivation, that I practiced, that I wake up early, that I go to sleep very late. I mean, I have salesmen, okay, that call me, they call me from customers' houses at 11 p.m. at night, and they're still there sitting until 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. Because guess what? They live the business. If you live the business, all you're gonna do is you're gonna be studying, you're gonna be dreaming about construction. You're gonna be dreaming about how you sell your customers. And to do that, you gotta practice. And practice, I mean, sometimes it's not easy. You gotta sometimes stay up until late and practice. Can you imagine you coming back from a leave, you're coming back home at, 8, 9 o'clock in the evening? Guess what? You still gotta open that laptop, open that computer, and start studying, writing stuff down. I know your friends are gonna be calling you, hey, let's go out to this restaurant, let's go out to this club. No, I'm not going out. Until I don't make $50,000, $60,000 a month, I'm not going out. Now, when you do make that money, it's very important to take that money and invest it. Don't keep it in your bank account. But buy yourself something nice. Don't be afraid. I have a lot of salesmen that's like, oh, Josh, you're buying all these fancy cars. Oh, you're doing this. Guys, go buy a fancy car. Go spend your money. Because guess what? If you're not going to reward yourself with something nice, with something fancy, you're not going to succeed. Because, I mean, if your body only knows making money and putting it in a bank account, you're not going to be making a lot of money, because money doesn't talk to your body. What talks to your body is the pleasures. What do you do with your money? Now, of course, you're going to go and spend it on, some houses, invest it and all that stuff, maybe some stocks. But I want you guys to get a nice car. I want you guys fancy clothing. Buy all that stuff for yourself. Reward yourself. You can tell yourself, listen, if I make this month $100,000, I'm going to go buy this new Mercedes. I'm going to go buy this new Lamborghini. Reward yourself is going to be very important. Now, before you go to sleep, okay, what you guys can do, and what I like to do, is do some motivation. They have like these money manifesting recordings that you guys can watch on YouTube, kind of good meditations and incantations that you can listen to, that really programs your brain of making more money and being a better salesman and being a better you. So that's what I listen to. And then, of course, before I go to sleep, I do the Shema, and I actually read my goals one more time, and then I go to sleep. Again, it doesn't mean you need to go to sleep early. I actually go to sleep very late. I go to sleep like around 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. But the most important thing is, whenever you wake up the next day, wake up early, start the day with a smile, and kick some ass. Good luck, guys.